Hello, everyone. Today I will be discussing whether killer whale ecotypes should be recognized as separate biological species. This debate is essential for understanding biodiversity and conservation efforts. By exploring various definitions of species and the unique characteristics of killer whale ecotypes, we can better address the implications of their classification. The traditional biological definition of a species is a group of organisms that can reproduce and produce viable offspring. While this definition has been widely accepted, it has limitations, particularly when it comes to species with complex social structures and behaviors like killer whales. Some scientists propose alternative definitions based on ecological, morphological, or genetic differences. For this debate, I support the ecological definition, which emphasizes the role of environmental adaptations and niches in differentiating species. Killer whale ecotypes exhibit several reproductive barriers that prevent interbreeding. A significant prezygotic barrier is behavioral isolation. Different ecotypes have distinct vocalizations, social structures, and hunting techniques, which prevent them from mating. For example, resident orcas in the North Pacific have complex social structures and primarily feed on fish, while transient orcas have simpler social groups and hunt marine mammals. These behavioral differences serve as a strong prezygotic barrier. Geographic isolation is another important factor. Resident and transient orcas often inhabit different regions, further preventing interbreeding. This geographic separation can be observed in other ecotypes as well. For instance, Antarctic type A, B, and C orcas occupy different ecological niches and regions, leading to physical separation. Let's delve deeper into specific killer whale ecotypes. The North Pacific resident and transient orcas provide a clear example of allopatric speciation. Residents primarily inhabit coastal waters and have developed intricate social hierarchies. With stable family groups known as pods, their diet consists mainly of fish, particularly salmon. In contrast, transients, also known as Biggs killer whales, are more nomadic with less stable structures. They specialize in hunting marine mammals, such as seals and sea lions. Another fascinating case is the sympatric distribution of different Antarctic orca types. Type B orcas, known as pack ice orcas, have two distinct forms, large and small. They exhibit unique hunting strategies adapted to their environments. Large type B orcas primarily hunt seals on ice floes, while small type B orcas, called Gerlache orcas, hunt penguins and fish. Despite sharing the same geographic area, their distinct behaviors and ecological roles prevent interbreeding. I argue that killer whale ecotypes should be considered separate species. The ecological definition of a species supports this, as these ecotypes occupy different niches and have distinct adaptations. Recognizing them as separate species allows for more targeted conservation efforts, addressing the specific threats each ecotype faces. A study by Morin et al. Analyzed the complete mitochondrial genome of various killer whale populations and found significant genetic differences between resident and transient orcas. This genetic differentiation suggests a long-term reproductive isolation, supporting the classification of these ecotypes as separate species. Behavioral evidence also supports this argument. Resident and transient orcas have not been observed interbreeding, despite coexisting in the same areas. Their distinct vocalizations, social structures, and hunting techniques further reinforce their separation. For example, Ford et al. Observed that resident orcas have a higher rate of tooth wear due to their fish diet, while transient orcas, which feed on marine mammals, exhibit less tooth wear. These morphological differences, influenced by diet and behavior, provide further evidence for recognizing them as a separate species. Ecologically, these differences are crucial. Residents' fish-based diet and complex social structure differ vastly from transients' mammal hunting strategies and simpler social organization. In the Antarctic, type B orcas' distinct hunting methods for seals and penguins highlight their unique ecological roles. These adaptations to specific environmental conditions further justify their classification as separate species. Recognizing killer whale ecotypes as separate species has significant conservation implications. Each ecotype faces unique threats and challenges that require tailored conservation strategies. For instance, resident orcas are heavily impacted by the decline of salmon populations due to overfishing and habitat destruction. In contrast, transient orcas are affected by pollutants that accumulate in marine mammal prey. Separate conservation assessments, such as those conducted by the IUCN Red List, would allow for more precise and effective protection measures. In conclusion, defining killer whale ecotypes as a separate species based on ecological differences provides a clearer understanding of their adaptations and challenges. This classification can lead to more effective conservation strategies, ensuring each ecotype receives the specific protection it needs by acknowledging the unique characteristics and ecological roles of each ecotype. We can better preserve the biodiversity of killer whales and their marine environments. Thank you for listening. I look forward to the debates that come in the future.